Democrats and their allies in the liberal media continuing their meltdown on Friday over the president's demolition of the East Wing of the White House. We want to bring in political commentator Adrienne Gray and independent Women's Voice senior policy analyst Carrie Sheffield to weigh in. I've been dying to talk about this story with both of you because, listen, I have seen all the reports of all the constant renovations and things that have happened before. But, Adrienne, for some reason, they didn't seem to mind back then.
No, it's crazy. These people are salivating over this photo op and trying to create these headlines that will feed into their narrative. They are so severely diagnosed with TDS that they just love this. They live in this world. Listen, I say, if you have big, you need to build a big ballroom, period.
And by the way, I think it's fair to say that this will not only go well beyond this presidency, we're talking about Democrats and Republicans and something beautiful for the people. It is the people's house, and it's being paid for by donations. I don't understand the outrage.
You know, my theory, the leftist media wants to distract from the monstrosity in Chicago, which is the bunker of the Barack Obama Library, which will not have archives or any research. That's my theory.
Yeah.
But as to the Trump ballroom, I think it's going to be gorgeous. You know, people who go down to Mar-a-Lago, I've been able to visit a few times. That ballroom is stunning, and it will be a treasure to be passed down to generations. I will say, every president since John Quincy Adams has had renovations to the White House, including Harry Truman, that did major gutting to the White House.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
You know, they want to say everything's unprecedented under him. It's just not true.
Unprecedented. It cracks me up because we're here in Washington and we hear people sort of, you know, pearl clutching, and it's kind of ridiculous. Meantime, they also deny a lot of the mainstream media that there is a cocaine or fentanyl problem in the Caribbean. Want to share a little montage here, get your reaction on the other side.
There is virtually no fentanyl coming from Venezuela.
No fentanyl comes out of Venezuela.
If he thinks blowing up boatloads of cocaine is going to protect the real threat to American people.
Virtually none doesn't mean none. And the truth is, anytime you can interdict and do more to help protect Americans, I would think that would be a good thing.
Well, almost 30,000 people died from cocaine deaths in 2023. So I don't know who this guy is, but he clearly doesn't care about the deaths of American people, which this is 10 times, almost 10 times the number of people that were killed in 9/11.
Yeah.
So, and we went to war over 9/11. So, you know, the president has the right to designate these narco-terrorists with special designations and to go in there and do this. My other theory, though, is this is the cocaine at the White House under the Biden White House.
Oh, will you stop it?
The Venezuelan government wants their cocaine back.
They want that baggie back. Listen, I think whether you like the president or don't like the president, you have to say this has been a problem that we've sort of tried to address. But, boy, he's being very aggressive about it, Adrienne.
Absolutely. I mean, the war on drugs is what he ran on.
Yeah.
And listen, I think this conversation is a lot more nuanced, right? Maduro and these narcos, they're all aligned with these other countries, with China, with all these other places that are against, they're anti-West, they're anti-American, and they did let drugs in. They do let drugs in. So we are taking this head on, and he's leading the charge. And listen, the leftists and the Democrats are colluding to deny that this is an issue. They pick and choose the humanitarian crisis they want to involve themselves in, but the people in Venezuela, there is a humanitarian crisis, and working on these cartels and getting them out will help those people.
And they are great people in Venezuela. Let me share this, 15 seconds each. This is Harry Enten talking about surprising economic news. Get your reaction after this.
So you just look at these numbers and you just go to yourself, wait a minute, there's something going on here with the American public whereby you're getting all this economic news, but yet the percentage of Americans who say the top problem is economic has actually been falling and is lower than it normally is.
Seems to me, Adrienne, that the American people feel like maybe this guy's got some good ideas, or at least appears to be handling the economy a lot better than what they remembered over the past 4 years.
It's been going well, and I think the number one problem now America has is Democrats. So if the economy keeps going well, listen, they're cooked for taking back the House.
Yeah, especially midterms.
It's true. Well, look, gas prices are the lowest in almost 4 years. Inflation under Trump is only 2.5 on average percent versus 5% under Biden, double under Biden. Eggs are down 24%. The 12-month average change in overall shelter costs is the lowest level in 4 years. This is what people are feeling, and that's what they're telling Gallup here.
Yeah, and they're clearly pleased. And they may not love everything, but the truth is, if you're 80-20, I think a lot of people can certainly live with that. Adrienne and Carrie, thank you both for your time tonight. Have a wonderful weekend, ladies.
Thank you, Kevin.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.